Hello everyone, my name is Comet and today we are here in the firing range because I wanna start theory crafting, practicing and learning to see what is a good strategy that we can use in rankeds. And so far I wanna show you one thing, which is the main strategy that I've seen people talk about in the forums, which is, let me drop this, lava. With lava, and then you use your ultimate accelerant, what you can do is that you can just sit on the zone,
Setting up shop.
just like this, and start pulling out syringes and
There's an enemy
medkits.
near me.
So if you go into a city, you can, for example, come over here, take out a
Don't mind
medkit,
if I do.
some syringes like that, and just like that. Every time you take out your medkits, it's gonna be 2 of them, and when you take a syringe, that's gonna be 4. So if you only want syringes, or if there's only syringes, you can get 8 syringes in total, which is insane, to be honest. And the medkits is gonna be 2 each time. However, this changes if you have the deep pockets backpack. Let me go
Jump drive in position.
like this to charge my ultimate again. And now what we're gonna do is use the backpack so you guys can see more or less
Let's do some shopping.
how this works. So imagine we are in the zone at the moment, you know. People come over here, you find a yellow backpack, you steal it because now you're gonna be able to steal 3 medkits at a time, and this is huge. Stealing this many medkits, it's insane because you can survive for a very long time in the zone with it. And the syringes number, however, does not increase. It only really stays at 4 each time. And you'd be able to then steal 6 medkits in total. In fact, let me show you. Let me collapse my ultimate. Let's start it again.
Setting up shop.
There we go. So now, let's say you only have syringes in the area. That's still quite a lot, you know. Look at this, 8 total syringes. That brings you to quite a lot of survival if you go from city to city and you keep stealing non-stop, you know. And especially if you find the ultimate accelerants, if you keep finding those, you're gonna have a very easy time surviving in the zone. And let me show you now how many you can get for medkits. This is with deep pockets, with a yellow backpack, of course. But syringes does not really change in the amount that you can get without the yellow backpack. But medkits do.
Let's do some shopping.
So you come over here, and now you can steal a total number of 6 medkits with the yellow backpack. If you didn't have a yellow backpack, you would be able to steal a total of 4 medkits, and that is still, however, quite a lot. You can move like this, you know, from city to city to city in the zone, non-stop, surviving as long as you can, and it's gonna get only even better if you have multiple Phoenix kids, or if you have evac towers to move faster, or of course if you have the heat shields. So the more you collect of these survival items, the longer you're gonna be able to survive. And this is one of the strategies that the people are doing. They are completely ignoring the fighting, like, at all, because there's just no point in fighting this season, as now you receive a very little amount of points for kills, you know. So people are saying like, hey, I just don't think it's really worth it at all, you know. And for the weapons that works this strategy, to be honest, your goal is to survive. So you want to start, you want to avoid fighting. But let's say that you didn't have a choice The best weapons in the game at the moment are obviously the Nemesis and the R99, but since your job is to not really fight, I would recommend instead the Flatline, because the Flatline, if you're hiding, the power that you get from shooting like this is higher than the R99 and the Nemesis in the first round. So if you're really hiding at the very beginning, you're gonna have the upper hand. Obviously, after the first clip, after the first magazine is completed, the Nemesis becomes stronger and the R99 becomes stronger because the damage of the Flightline will drop. But that first stage of you shooting them is really guarantee you an upper hand at the beginning. I really recommend Flatline. Obviously, if you find the Nemesis and the R99 and you're more comfortable with them, or you think that they can be more useful to you, you always can use them. There's nothing wrong. In fact, they are really strong. Like, they're stronger. Once you once you go through the first magazine, you know, and you start charging up those bullets and and you start handling the Nemesis, it becomes much stronger, of course. So yeah, there we go. Now it's a lot stronger than the Flatline. It's just that it needs to charge first, but if you feel comfortable in charging it first, go ahead and pick it up. And then, to be honest, that's all I would recommend. After that, you can choose whatever you want. You just really want to have an assault rifle first, either the Flatline or the Nemesis, for sure. I would recommend the Flatline just because of the instant burst of higher damage that you can have when you start like this. You know, when you start a fight, it's gonna be higher than what you get from the Nemesis. More or less. To be honest, there's not much difference, you guys can see, because once the Nemesis start charging, it's gonna be better. But if you somehow miss your shots like this, you're gonna be pretty you're gonna be in a bad situation. But Nemesis, the Flatline is more forgiving towards it. I feel like even if you miss, you're still gonna be outputting quite some damage, you know, where the Nemesis does lack, at least at the beginning of a fight. It wouldn't seem like it. And if you're an advanced player, just go with the Nemesis, obviously. This is more of a guide, or not really a guide, but like tips to fellow low-level players such as myself. I know that I enjoy the Nemesis for long range, and in fact, it's gonna work in one of the strategies that I'm gonna show you just after this. But for shorter range, the Flightline is better, and then whatever second weapon you prefer. But let's go into the next strategy, because I wanna see, I wanna try it myself. Change Legends. The next strategy is to use any of the controller characters, and Rampart especially is one of the ones that I've seen people take. And what they use is they either pick the Devotion, although this doesn't work that well in the World's Edge, because the Devotion is not that popular, it's not that common over there. But it works better with the Nemesis. Any of the controller characters with the Nemesis is gonna be better, because what you want is to control an area and shoot people from afar. And what better to do that than the Nemesis? And if someone ever comes into you, I would just advise to take the R99 or any of the SMGs. Vault works wonders as well. I personally really like the Vault, but I use more the R99. That's just my personal opinion, though. If you like any SMG works, or like if you like any SMG, they work. But the idea is to simply go into a closed area, such as this, and what people do is they literally just
Putting up some amped cover.
hide like this, you know, like that way. If people come in, they will have the upper hand, and they will just block every single entrance, or at least as much as they can, to prevent people from entering, or at least to prevent people from having any easy access with you. And this is where the vault becomes really valuable, because if you see someone outside, you can burst them really fast, you know, because the well, not only the vault, but any SMGs, the damage is up close, like in these close quarters, it's gonna be really, really high.
Backing up my cover.
With Loba strategy, you will usually be out in the open because that's when you can see more stuff. If you are hidden, it could be dangerous for you. But you really want to be out on the open collecting items, especially because you want to use your ultimate to collect items, but also you yourself want to start moving around so that you can get any extra items that you can see. But with here it's different. Over here you want to be hidden at all times, and because of this you just want to come here and just literally close your door. Like,
Some amped cover.
look at this. And now there's no way for them to come in, but through here.
Backing up my cover.
And you can also use, I've seen people take caustic and Watson as well for this.
Recharged.
This is especially effective in World's Edge, I would say. There we go. This is especially effective in World's Edge because that is when you have more spaces to hide very high in this in the air, you know, and you want people to go and look for you at those altitudes instead of staying in a flat area. Like for example, I think Olympus is quite flat in general. It does have some altitude areas, but in general it's quite flat in comparison to the heights of World's Edge. So usually this is where you kind of want to abuse that, and you hide with your with your like submachine gun like this. People come in, you burst them down,
Out of energy ammo.
and you could also use the nemesis, so that if you see someone from afar like this, you just beam them down.
Energy ammo.
I've also seen people use light machine guns for this strategy, because that way they never run out of ammo. Havoc or the Devotion obviously being the best options. Now where's the Devotion? Oh, here. If you find the hop-up right here, the turbocharger, then that makes everything much better. The way, like... Yep, that's the damage right there. You see someone? Oh no, you won't come in. Yep. That's the damage right there. The turbocharger, I haven't found it. On World's Edge, I have not found it at all. The Devotion is also very rare. But if you have a Watson on your team and you are ballistic and you find the Devotion, you know what to do. Because the Devotion is by far the best weapon to use as ballistic. And alternatives could be the Havoc, because the Havoc is easier to find in World's Edge, and then the Rampage, because the Rampage, when you use ballistic ultimate, it will come out heated already, so you can hit your target for a massive amount of damage, way higher than whatever they will have. But otherwise, this is what people are doing with especially here in Europe. Camping like this is very important, and I've seen this done in ALGS as well, or NA competitive as well. They just pick controllers and they start hiding. So if this is a strategy that works for you, go ahead. And finally, there is the last strategy that has been working wonders for me on King's Canyon. You know, we talked so far about Loba strategy, or in the zone strategy for Olympus. For World's Edge, camping is nice. But in King's Canyon is very different, because King's Canyon has a lot of cliffs, bridges, and areas that you can hide. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you right now Vantage. And what I've seen people do with Vantage, it's actually quite hard. I don't know how they do this, but let's see.
Let's find a good perch.
No, wait. Go here.
Taking a new angle.
So what they do is they not just stay in an area like this, but instead they will look to edges, such as this one, that you, and in worst edge especially, you can barely see Vantage. You can go with a brown skin as well, and she's gonna blend in with the environment, or with a camo or a green skin, and you're gonna blend with the environment quite well. And all they do is snipe people from afar, just like this, you know. And then what I don't know is, can you see the trail? You cannot even see the trail. But this is the advantage of Vantage, you know. And this is what I've seen people do, and they do this a lot, and it works really nicely. And you'd be surprised to know how well, like to know how well, or like to see how well this does, because on paper you'll never think that Vantage is that good of a character in comparison to other stuff that you have in the game, you know, such as especially the state of Seer these past few seasons. But she works well. You know, you just hide in a corner like this, try to blend in, and then you snipe people. And she works well because she has the built-in sniper. You mark people with it, and then you can track them like this, and they will not know from where you are shooting for the most part. But another strategy that works for me, or that has been working for me, specifically, has been to just pick up Wraith. And basically, try to always be ahead in tempo from the enemy team. Let me show you what I mean by this. I'm gonna charge the ultimate, and what I mean is, if the zone is gonna converge in that area, your job is to make sure that your team can rotate safely into that area. And this way, you go around it, ignoring every single person. Like this. And if they see you, you can just go invisible and set the portal over there. And your team is now safe. You know? Just like this. And they are inside the zone. In fact, they're even farther the zone, because the zone is over there.
Portal here.
So yeah. This is another strategy that has been working really well for me. And in King's Canyon it is especially good because of the many areas that you have to maneuver with Wraith, and her buff, that the buff that she received to her ultimate previously, is really working wonders for her in this regard, especially in King's Canyon. King's Canyon is where she excels, I think. However, any other character that allows you to move fast like that is gonna be good. Valkyrie could be an exception because she is very like people like she really attracts a lot of people once they hear or they see Valkyrie. But for example,
Whoa, what a rush! Faster, faster, faster!
Octane could be really good for this. This is more of your own pick, though, however. So if you are playing with random people and they die right off the back, Octane may be the one to help you survive longer. Remember that positioning is all that, like the placement is all that matters in this new season. The points don't really, like the points for kills are very little. In fact, you don't even receive that many points for kill if you're not in the top 5. So you really just want to place higher. And Octane could be perfect for this due to how fast he can rotate to safe place into the next safe place, you know. And you obviously want to stay hidden as much as possible. There we go. And once you have your ultimate, you come and you can keep going in and reposition to whatever you want. Now, are there other strategies that I want to talk about? And also, which weapons work for this strategy? But since you're running away, you don't really need a weapon. Sounds weird, but you don't really need a weapon. But I would recommend a shotgun, because if you're hiding in a corner, if you find a nice corner to hide, boom, you can kill people. Otherwise, any of the top 2 assault rifles, Nemesis and Flatline, whatever you can find, and just an SMG, you know, any of these 2. You don't want sniper because people will hunt you down, and what we would want is to survive, not fight. Because I had matches. In fact, I know a person that got 5 kills in the top 5, and that person received 0 points from those kills. 0, not even 1. So yes, sorry, my microphone almost fell. So yeah, points right now, man, it's not really worth it. And these are the strategies that I will try to test in the next week. I will be bringing it to the channel, and I will be trying a full match with each character and with each weapon. And then if I see that we can adjust the strategies even better, then I will do that. So for example, I realized that by running, I get a better positioning to flank from behind, and therefore I see that a submachine gun is a must. Then I will always prioritize a submachine gun. Or if I see that, I don't know, that I have an opportunity or bigger opportunities to do damage, let's say with a wingman, because I'm always behind them, you know, like just boom, boom, 1 tapping people or 2 tapping people, then I will, you know. But this is something that we must practice, test, and see how it goes in a real match, which I'm gonna bring to the channel next week. All next week is gonna be me testing out and figuring out characters and weapons and strategies that works for me. But this has been today the main strategies that people are using. Now, are there other strategies? Because if you have been a recon character, for example, you know that Seer has been really powerful. The problem is that if you're hiding all the time, and your idea is to not fight, these characters become less valuable. But if you are playing in a fight, even a 30 stack, with people that you know and you are comfortable with, this is what you want.
They failed.
This is really what you want. You want to have crypto, because this way you can just keep scouting the area. You know, scout for let's say if you have a wraith on your team, scout for them to see if there's anything. If there's nothing, you can just send the wraith with the portal to rotate into safe area, just right here, for example. So this is really the character that I've seen most people use at the moment. And on the flip side, if you are someone that preferred assault stuff, you know, like more aggressive standards, and you played Bangalore or Fuse, know that they have fallen a bit in flavor, but they can work. Bangalore
Drop, shock, and rock.
works specifically well when you're hiding in the zone, because once you get out of the zone, you can hide from people like this and move around it with the smoke, you know. So this is a safe way out of the zone, but this is really more like a secondary character. Now for Fuse, you know, other characters such as Revenant, they may not be that strong, but Fuse does work if you are playing with a Watson, because you can start hiding inside a building and gatekeeping people outside from coming in with your grenades. This is gonna be your job. If Watson or Scarstick or Rampart or Catalyst are putting in the traps so that people are not getting in, your job is to also increase the amount of harass that you are doing, that you are dealing to them with your grenades. So Fuse is a really good secondary character, supportive character, of course, to the main characters of these strategies. But this is more or less the meta, you know. Ballistic.
Cuban Bliss couldn't kill me in the
Ballistic
Thunderdome.
is a really
Do you
powerful
really think
character,
a flesh wound here could?
but it's not for this meta. This is for a kill meta for sure. However, you can still play it. In fact, I was playing Ballistic up until this point, on World's Edge specifically, which was a mistake that I realized afterwards because the devotion is rare there. Where you want to pick him more is in other maps because the devotion is more common in those other maps, either Olympus or King's Canyon, but he's not really that strong in comparison to the main lines such as Loba, such as Wraith, or the controller characters. Then Lifeline is really good.
Never quit. Remember that.
Lifeline is top tier. Like, if I mean top tier, if Loba, Watson, etc. are already picked, because you can support your, especially if you're camping the zone. This right here will ensure that when you come out of the zone, basically, yeah. And if you manage to get a yellow revive, like the Guardian Angel shield, which I'm gonna show you right now. This right here, if you manage to get this, like, Lifeline becomes extremely valuable. You're gonna keep bringing in your care package with even more supplies. Usually, if you have a Loba will provide with the main stuff, and then you can provide them with, let's say, let's call it in an area where it doesn't bother, like right here.
My birthday present.
You can provide them with Phoenix kits later on. You can provide them with more supplies such as respawn beacons, you know, shields, helmets, more survival combat stuff. Obviously, this is less effective than Loba, but it is really good when you have a Loba or a Watson or something like that, so that you can keep supporting your team with nice stuff. So I actually really enjoy playing with Lifelines because they're really good. But I would say this is a more defensive character. If you want a more offensive character, you may want this right here.
Let's get back to it.
The reason you want to pick, for example, someone like Newcastle over the others is because of this.
Get behind my protection.
This allows you for a safe camping. Like, nothing goes through this. It's just OP. You know, very different
Move my
from
mobile shield. Gonna take a little walk this way.
look at this. And that way you can just keep moving like this. Keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. And when someone goes down and you have the yellow shield, that's amazing. Because they will gonna revive for with half HP, half shields, and they will, and basically for free, because you will have a way to cover for them. It's just so good. And Gibby also does, it does work, obviously, because you have this. And since not fighting is the best strategy at the moment, this right here helps you go back or go in. But I would say Newcastle is a better Gibraltar at the moment, especially because with Newcastle. Let me change it.
Thanks.
With Newcastle, if you are camping in World's Edge, what you can do, where is the recharge tower. So what you can do with Newcastle is, once you have your ultimate, you can come into closed area. You can use your ultimate if you're being chased, for example. You can use your ultimate to run away, or you can also use your ultimate to provide
Y'all ready to climb?
another layer like this, you know, that people will have to destroy to go inside or to get outside, you know. And this way you block people from getting in and from getting out. So when you have a rampart, having this on top of that is just so much annoyance to the enemy team, which is fun. Because a lot of people, they're over aggressive. They really are so bloodthirsty, and you can punish them like this, you know. But because the strategy right now is not to fight, it's really to fight as little as possible. And this shield right here is just so good. And that's about it, you know, for the strategies. Now, any other cheesy character that could work? Obviously, Valkyrie is still valuable if you're a solo player, especially. More or less if you're in a team. But you can still pick her. Pathfinder may be good if you are camping in the zone. That way you can move with the extended range that he has now. From one side to the other side, like, very easily. In fact, let me see something. If I pick Pathfinder,
I have come to save the day.
I want to see how far I can place my W. Holy shit.
Who's ready to fly on a zip line? I am.
Yes. So if you're camping in a zone, look how much distance you can travel just like this. Holy moly. Yeah. These are obviously not the best of characters, but once you have the best characters, these supportive characters could work. Remember that the meta has completely shifted from anything that we have known before. And right now, we really want to start going for points. And Mirage!
Here I come. Mirage to the rescue. After being
I've actually
rescued,
seen
thanks
Mirage
to that.
peak a lot, but I don't exactly know why. But especially here in Europe, I've seen Mirage picked a lot.
Bamboozles
Potentially
for the
because
fools.
you can
It
confuse
works, it
people?
rhymes.
I don't know. I personally really like Mirage attitude. I think it's just so funny. His lines are really fun, at least to me. He's just a really weird character in terms of the abilities that he has. He may not be the strongest, but you know what? If you enjoy it, play it. But otherwise, aside from the ones that I mentioned before, you want to kind of avoid anything else. I played Horizon, but right now Horizon is not that valuable as you're not fighting. Same with Bloodhound, you're not really fighting. Seer, Revenant. Mad Maggie could be good if you are into more aggressive playstyles of hunting people camping down. She is insane because you can do this and force them to move away from the walls that they are camping, you know, because otherwise they will get damaged. And this is especially good when you are in the defensive as well, you know, because you can keep people from. It's like the same case as Fuse. You can keep people from going in by simply putting an area like this that will zone them away. But yeah, like these are the strategies, you know, there's three main strategies: running away, hiding in the zone, or camping inside an area with a controller. I hope you guys found this video interesting. You know, this was just a bit of theory crafting and trying out the new strategies. Next week I'm gonna put them in action. I wanna try to see if they work. For me specifically, you know, because after all, we all have styles that we prefer, and if you are more skilled or less skilled, you may prefer one strategy over the other. So it's really a matter of finding out what works for you. And for me specifically, next week I'm gonna be trying these strategies in the real game, and I hope to see you over there. It's gonna be really fun. So for now, boom. Let's keep people away. Yeah. And let's go and get those sweet points. Once again, my name is Comet, and I am signing out. Peace.
Gives us